We're headed into the end of an era as we get rid of that Taurus story that began in 2018. The tower in the tarot hit by the lightning bolt of change, which is on a star called Algol, decapitation, Medusa. We have Uranus sitting on that star and turning around and going forward. Donald Trump, the president of the United States, a scandal has broken out on the internet. Your sun sign is your true self. It's your flavor of God. White light becomes a rainbow. It prisms into colors, unquenchable hope, patience, and a refusal to recognize limitation. So the energy is intense on February the 3rd, 4th.
Lunatic astrology.
We're headed into the end of an era. It's the era of Uranus moving through the sign of Taurus. He's leaving for good as he heads into direct motion on February the 4th, 2026. What I love about this forward momentum that he's going to engineer in your life and in my life as a god of sky god, electricity, thunderbolts of exciting and exhilarating change and unexpected developments is he's going to be doing that turnaround through to the 26th of April. So today's video is about Uranus turning into a direct motion planet and skedaddling his butt out of Taurus, a fixed sign where he's not quite compatible. I'll talk about how that might look for the world as we get rid of that Taurus story that began in 2018 with the god of the unexpected, of radical change, of extreme energy in that sky. And that part of that chart gives rise to fascism, agricultural disturbances like the Dust Bowl. It gives rise to the cryptocurrency realm because Taurus rules currencies. Those energies are behind us, but I'm going to describe what it might look like as he goes across that finish line over the next several months, like until the 3rd week of April. So we're all still under his spell. We're still like living with the energy right now, but we're going to be completing a story that really began in 2018. So I'll be talking about your sign. So stay tuned for that. It's definitely going to be something like radical change ahead, last in a lifetime shifts or something like that. So welcome to my channel if you're new, and many of you are. For some crazy ass reason, I can't quite describe why, there are 800 newbies here. 8,000 newbies here in the last 30 days, literally. So by the time I finish the month of January, it'll say I'll have like 8,700 new subscribers. You are so very welcome to my world. This is a Western Tropical Zodiac Astrology. My name is Lori Lothian. There are always all signs content here, but there's also various videos that are also about the world and world events. So stay tuned for more of that. Now, I do want to say that I have a little bit of an excitement about getting rid of Uranus and Taurus, because this is a fixed sign, and fixed signs do not get along well with things that are going to change quickly, without warning, destabilizing, unexpected, radical stuff, off the wall, outside the box, even including rebellion and freedom. And also the words break free and break through, break free and break through. Good Uranian words, the tower in the tarot, this kind of something that's no longer needed or structurally sound can like be literally hit by the lightning bolt of change. And at the very same time, it's not easy to go through a lot of change and disruption. We're humans, we're mammals. We don't like everything to change, right? And it's difficult on the nervous system. And Taurus is a fixed sign, which means it's like fixative. You know, when you do a painting and you want to spray it so it doesn't smush and it's like the final version, you're fixing it, fixative, the painting. When cement dries, it's fixed into a form. When concrete dries, it's fixed into a form. That is what fixed signs are about. Taurus, especially because it's fixed earth. It literally is concrete, okay? Or, you know, structures that congeal and become hard and don't change easily. And in that way of thinking about fixed energy, and of course, if you are a Taurus, this is your time to get the hell out of this. But, you know, all the fixed signs, which are Taurus, Scorpio, Aquarius, and Leo, I'm Aquarius. This is squaring my fixed Aquarian nature, who does not prefer change. We have been feeling rattled. We have been feeling like we're out of our own steering wheel a lot of the time since 2018. Life events have been occurring for us fixed signs, Leo and Aquarius and Taurus and Scorpio. And we're like, holy man, I couldn't have seen that thing coming. I was a left fielder. I mean, there's so many funny examples of that and not funny examples, right? Because I'm an Aquarius rising. And I have this in my house of home property, real estate, and land. And I've moved like so many times. It's not funny. I don't know if you other Aquarian risings, put your hand up. Maybe sun and moon as well. We'll get to that. But all the moves that I've done since 2018 have been alarming. You know, it was very nomadic in my reality. It's like, can I finally settle down somewhere? Does anyone else relate? And on the fixed sign Aquarius, especially, it's our fourth house, to the point where there's been unexpected surprises and moves where I couldn't have seen it coming. Like for example, my girlfriend said I could rent her place for X number of months, and then all of a sudden she needed it back right away. And with no warning, I was pretty well homeless. And there's just one way of seeing how like that was bad, but then it was good because the place I found in the wake of my homelessness was even better and even more way yay me. So all said and done, don't think about disruption as bad. But I'm just saying the time of things that you wanted to be stable, all of us wanted it to be stable because Taurus is a stable sign. We wanted it to be stable. It's fixed Earth. It wasn't stable since 2018. And now we're going to get rid of that story by the third week of April, and we're going to brush ourselves off and go, whew, pick ourselves up and move on. And then we'll be talking about the Gemini story for the next 7 years. Last year, it would have been between July the 7th and November the 7th. Okay. July the 7th of 2025. November the 7th of 2025, we ended up with a blessed relief. That was when jiggy-jaggy, unexpected, radical staccato, Uranus and Taurus left Taurus for a hiatus and did some testing of the Gemini sky. And so during that time, for people who've been struggling, especially fixed signs, Leo and Aquarius, Taurus and Scorpio, with unexpected developments in their reality, and when I get to your sign, I'll explain that, got a breath of fresh air and a bit of relief. But we still have to finish up. So now, having ingress back into Taurus in November 7th of 2025, headed backward, is that now we have this particular 27th degree of the sign of Taurus, which is on a star called Algol, decapitation, Medusa, corpses, death, and rotting bodies, a difficult star, but it is a well star. We have Uranus sitting on that star and turning around and going forward. Some of you might realize, and some of you may not realize, that Donald Trump, the president of the United States, has his midheaven up there where that star is. And I'm recording this on Saturday, January the 31st. As of yesterday, a scandal has broken out on the internet. Now, this is a part of the Leo lunation, the eclipse in the summer, and the Leo moon on February 1st, full moon, that's also playing out, but it's also a foreshadow of February 4th, when Uranus heads into direct motion, stationary on already as we speak. Already stationary, sitting at 27 degrees. Very powerful, potent energy when a planet's stationary. Standing in place, turning around. It's hitting the reputation and the career space of Donald J. Trump. And we had a big blowout of news all over the internet yesterday evening, late day in Vancouver, Canada, coming through about a tranche of Epstein files that were delivered, and people screenshot horrendous testimonies against Trump before the Department of Justice pulled it off. And unfortunately, people saw it and they screenshotted it. And it seems to indicate, I know if you're a conspiracy theorist, if you're a Trump lover, I'm Canada, I don't care. I'm just telling you, whether it's true or not true, the disclosures that were screenshot by people about Trump vis-a-vis Epstein does not put him in a good light. Let's just put it that way. So go check out that information. That presidential candidate presidential president is under a huge amount of energy right now between the Leo full moon and the eclipse in the summer in Leo, right? Plus right now, Uranus stationing on his midheaven. Some of you may know that in 2024, my channel took off a bit because I, along with some other astrologers, but I had predicted that Trump would be in harm's way for unaliving. I specifically said that. I used the other word that starts with an A. And I said it would be near July 15th, and on July the 13th, we know what happened. Well, that is because of the same situation, Uranus on his midheaven, but this time then back in July, Mars was there as well. Mars and Uranus on his midheaven, a double whammy. But right now we also have a strong Mars activation as Mars is moving through the sign of Aquarius, squaring his midheaven with Uranus on his midheaven. Mars midheaven is dangerous and it's intense and it cuts, ends, and severs and it shocks us. So we're in the thick of it right now with that story. I don't know where it's gone today. I haven't had time to check. I'm recording on a Saturday. The news story broke on a Friday. Okay, so there's that. Now, one thing we're going to do as we go through your sign today is I want you to recognize that your sun sign is your true self. You want to think you have a spirit, like a deep eternal you that lives multiple lifetimes or one life. In the big, like one moment of all lives happening everywhere, all at once, like that movie. That's your sun. It's your flavor of God. White light becomes a rainbow. It prisms into colors. There's different flavors of divine. We're sparks of the divine. That's your sun, right? You could be an Aries, you're fire, and you're cardinal. But then you have to come into life and play a role. You have to be here and do something somehow, somewhere. You got to do something, right? And so in life, you come in and you got to do something. What are you going to do? You're going to play a character and do a video game. So the game player is your sun and the video game avatar is your ascendant. Where you're going to come into a movie and you're the actor and you're going to play a character in the screenplay or in the movie. That's the ascendant, the character and its body and what it looks like. Like Leos have big hair and big beards, for example, for men, or women, big hair like Erica Kirk. This is how you play the role. That's your character, not your ascendant, but the sun is playing the role. And then the moon is how you feel and think about life, mind, body, feeling, thinking stuff. But it's often that your sun can be really orienting you towards career and purpose. And especially after the age of 43, 44, you begin to move more into solar life if you're a self-aware individual and less just playing the character that you're programmed to play, the ascendant. And the moon can be about your home and nest and safety. So listen for sun, moon, and rising, see which ones are really resonating. Sometimes the moon just reflects how you're feeling about the circumstantial change that the character, the ascendant, is undergoing, right? The emotional. Are you arguing with reality? Are you arguing with what's happening to the character in the simulation? That would be lunar energies. Lunar energies can connect to anger and depression and emotions about reality, but also just your home and your mom and stuff like that. Okay, before we get going and before we complete this story of Uranus moving direct, I want to share something beautiful with you. First of all, I'm a flower junkie. I don't know if I'm a bracelet junkie and I'm a flower junkie. And this is roses and they're white and they smell delicious. And it's a company from New York City called Roses Forever. Rose Forever, Rose Forever, Rose Forever, because these last years and they've been preserved and they're beautiful and they actually smell like roses, which is crazy. And what's funny is that I said, they asked me if I'd sponsor them for Valentine's Day and get a 20% discount code for giving somebody Valentine's flowers or anything else you want that lasts forever. They just literally never stop smelling great and looking beautiful. And so this is kind of a cool idea, right? Forever. And these are beautiful luxury roses. And the website is in my description box below, roseforever.com. But also you get $20 off with me, Lori VDay 20, and the code and all how you spell it to buy at a discount of $20 off your roses is in my description box below. And I've never had preserved flowers like this before. Sometimes I've dried my roses. Yeah, I don't know if you guys have ever dried your roses. That's not pretty. That's just dried roses. So this is my first time ever with something so beautiful. And I'm excited to share it for you guys. If you want to go ahead and give that to your friends for Valentine's Day, go ahead and do it. And what the heck? And so I am an affiliate, basically. I'm supporting these guys because why is Lori a junkie for bracelets? These are all natural beads by Otter Spirit. Check the description box below for your discount code. But in general, flowers and jewelry are two of my very favorite things, and fragrances. And the reason is I have Venus and Taurus. And so the love of sensuality and pleasure is one of my gigs. So that's why I share this kind of stuff. I'm also into health, by the way. But, Venus and Taurus is my beauty queen. She loves the pleasurable and the sensual and the good things in life that make us feel happy because beauty is there. Beauty is there in the flowers. Beauty is there in these crafted gemstones and stuff like that. Now, let's go ahead and talk about the signs. Let's going to open up the chart for you and we're going to show you. Oh, and just because sometimes it's nice to show you how beautiful the websites are for these people I sponsor. Holy man, I love their website. This is it. roseforever.com. And they've been like in all these Cosmopolitan, Forbes, US, Pop Sugar, a lot of publicity for them, which is gorgeous. And then you get all roses, home scents, and flowers and Valentine's Day roses. It's so funny? I said, send me any color. I don't care. And they sent me white. And you couldn't make this up, but I'm single, so purity. But also white because I'm on a cleanse. I'm not drinking alcohol. I'm eating well. And there's something about the sort of nun-like quality of white. When they sent me white randomly, I'm like, you guys really nailed it. Nailed it. So yeah, all roses by collection. So there's different kinds of artisan rose collections in here. So you can see I've got this one, something like this one here. See, these are the ceramic ones, but they had to ship it to me. So mine's in sort of a sturdy cardboard. That's because they were shipping to Canada from the United States. But see how pretty these all are. So I'm just saying, I love their site. I hope you guys enjoy it, and hopefully you will get some beauty out of that. That's how I see it. A little beauty in life. Treasured beauty. Let's move ahead and let's talk next. And I'm recording on the 31st. You got 2 weeks before Valentine's Day. This video will come out a couple of days later, 3 days later, maybe. Okay, so I'm going to start with Aries. We're going to roll through the sky. Anybody who's got a Taurus 27-degree placement, anything there, okay? Do you have your sun at 27 Taurus, your rising sign near 720 Taurus? Let's go 24 to 29 Taurus, right? Do you have your sun there? Big energies, big intensity around spiritual true you, around career and purpose, around father figures. Moon in the same section of the sky near 27 degrees, 3 before, and the rest of it to 29, 24 to 29. Home, you're going to change your home. Your mother's going to go through some stuff. Your emotions are going to be all over the map. What about you guys who might have your rising sign there? The character in the simulation, the identity of you is changing if it's close to 27 Taurus. Now, for everything I've just said about the sun, moon, and rising, and how sensitive you are to this 27-degree stationary turnaround, there's one more thing to add. Anyone with Leo, 24 to 29, okay, you're in the same kind of intensity, right? Aquarius, same thing, 24 to 29. That degree is highly activated, your sun, moon, or rising. You're going to feel it. And Scorpio, same thing, same degree range. There is meaning to any planet sitting at 27 degrees. This is intermediate astrology, and a lot of you are going to be rolling your eyes or bored or not get it. And I won't be doing a long-term runoff on this, but understand that if you had a planet between 24 and 27 degrees in your chart, don't use Pluto, Uranus, and Neptune. Those are outer planets and they're generational. And everyone has that for 3 months when you were born. Don't do that. But say you have Sun and say you have Venus, Mercury, Jupiter, Saturn, Mars, right? In that near that 24 to 27 range. Those planets are also getting an intensity of a direct turnaround, just like Donald Trump's 26-degree midheaven, all right? Or I see midheaven, ascendant, descendant too. Big energies. What that planet rules in your chart, let's say you have Venus at 27 Taurus, like Amber Heard and Johnny Depp. Both of their Venuses are on that Algol decapitation off of your heads. Alcohol and alcoholism, by the way, for that star. That sun, moon, or rising, but then also Venus and everybody else is getting activated. So if your Venus is in Taurus, it's a big deal, but she also rules Libra and Taurus. So the Libra and the Taurus houses in your whole sign chart are highly, highly erratic. And there's a huge energy there. So if your Mars is near 27, let's go 24 to 29, the Scorpio part and the Aries part of your chart, no matter what sign your Mars is in, he rules those houses. Big change, right? Including the house where it's happening. 3 houses. If your Jupiter's there, the Pisces, Sagittarius, whole sign houses of your chart are getting electrified on the stationary turnaround a week or 2 before and after. Right? Plus wherever it's happening, which is in Taurus. What house is that for you? If it's Saturn that sits there in that range of planets, right? 24 to 29, he rules Capricorn and Aquarius in your chart. Don't use the outer planets. And those 2 houses of your chart are electrified for radical change, as well as the Taurus whole sign house where it's happening. I hope that makes sense for your intermediate astrologers. Let's go ahead. Let's roll through. What is the Sabian symbol for 27 degrees of Taurus? I could hear you guys asking me that. Let me explain. So the 27 degrees gets rounded up to 28 degrees. That's how we do a Sabian symbol. And the Taurus 28 degree symbol from my book, Diana E. Roche's Screen of Prophecy, Sabian Symbols, a woman pursued by mature romance. Now, Taurus is a sign of romance. It is ruled by Venus, and she is in Aquarius, and she is squaring Uranus, especially on Sunday, February 1st. And she can witness or put her eyes on it, or is it? No, especially on around the 7th of the month of February, Venus is squaring Uranus, okay, from Aquarius. But she witnesses or she sees the energy of Uranus in her home kingdom, and she can apply pressure for him to behave himself. But however, it's a square, so it's intense. So a woman pursued by mature romance, no time like the present. Now it talks about there's no point beyond which the fullness of life cannot be experienced. So buy some roses, It speaks to faith and a refusal to accept defeat or loss at the end of a matter. A woman pursued by mature romance expresses the deeper joy to be found in experience when it comes after its appointed time has passed. There is no time like the present for seizing opportunity. That's so Uranian, by the way. If the potential exists, it can be realized. At its highest, the symbol speaks to unquenchable hope, patience, and a refusal to recognize limitations. I like those words, unquenchable hope, patience, and a refusal to recognize limitations. I'm going to add that as a new intro. It's too beautiful. And keywords are petition, allure, attraction, enchantment, hope, opportunity, prospect, chance, appreciation, and ripeness. What are you ripe for? Seriously, it doesn't have to be love. Are you perfectly ready to be plucked, by life, to start a new career path, to move to your new home, to have a child, to get married? There's something very powerful about that degree in the Sabians. And Uranus is so powerful as he turns around. And there is some positivity because Venus does witness this turnaround. So let me show it to you, and let's go through each separate sign. As we do, we'll start with Taurus. Why Taurus? Because you guys, it's happening in your sign. You deserve to go first. Let's do each of your signs in today's video, and let's see what you think about it. I have dropped a Monday video, so go check that out about the week ahead, talking about the mini grand trine and your sign. And I've also dropped a video on Sunday, so check that out. And if you haven't seen my 2026 All Signs bundle, it's in the description box below if you want to study and individual signs for sale. And if you'd like, so you get my Divine Your Time Your Best Life guidance for 2026. And if any chance you would like to study intermediate astrology for 4 weeks in April, I'm doing my Divine Timing Masterclass with some advanced astrology tools during that big stellium with every planet in Aries, which is in my teaching house. So it kind of makes sense for me to go ahead and do that. I'm not feeling like I have to worry about all that pile up in April. We're going to be very motivated, passionate, and inspired about using and learning some energetically ancient and but powerfully accurate, alarmingly powerful and accurate timing tools for your life. This is for intermediate levels. If you've never studied an astrology chart, if you've taken my Sky Reader class, yes, come on in. But if you don't know how to begin to read the language of astrology, do not take this class. Thank you. All righty, January 31st is today. We can see that we have Uranus at 27 degrees. He's been here for like a dog's age, okay, like 3 weeks at least. But the point is, he's getting to turn around on February the 4th, which means that's where the energy really picks up. So let's watch that happen. We're going to move ourselves to February 4th. Now, there is direct motion at 27 degrees and 27 minutes. Let's move ourselves back. Isn't that interesting? That's an 18, and it's a 9 and a 9, which is an 18, which is a 9. So it's a hermit energy. It's a wisdom number. It's a completion. It's a finishing line. And I'm just going to take us back by hours, just so you want to know, when does he actually turn? What exact time of the day? Well, it could be February 3rd. Depends on your time zone, guys. February 4th in some places in the world and February 3rd on the other. Okay, so February in my time zone, it's almost dinner time, okay? In February 3rd, and in other time zones, it's going to be on February the 4th. And some people love to know exactly when the station happens. I know it's exciting, so let's actually take it for fun to the minute as best we can, okay? Yeah, let's see what minute it turns around. Not that it really matters because it's a slow moving planet and you will see the full effects of it later on. Just so guys to remind you, Uranus and Saturn was back in the 30s during the Dust Bowl and also the early 40s. It corresponds with the stock market crash, is the Dust Bowl era, the rise of Hitler, Mussolini, and Stalin, which of course we know is a strong connection to the let's just leave it. The time is irrelevant. The strong connection to the come on, like the formation of the Bretton Woods institutions, the IMF, also the three-letter agencies, also the World Bank, also the United Nations, also the nation of I in the Middle East, you know, the big I, the very aggressive I, the hornet's nest in the Middle East. All of those were and are formations that happen with Uranus in the sign of land, Taurus. And you might know geographical boundaries were dramatically redrawn in the 40s after World War II. And so we will see territorial redrawing of boundaries. We've been seeing some evidence that that's already begun. We already saw big borders being redrawn in the Middle East after the war that started in October of 2023. They're already redrawn. It's already been done. And there's going to be more of that. So between now and April 27th, borders being redrawn, recrafted. You might not know much about the 1940s, but what happened was there were just a bunch of colonial, type nations like England and the United States post-war making up, and Russia making up new boundary lines together, right? Dividing the world into new places that never existed before. And there's that already happening now. And as Uranus crosses the finish line between now and April 26, we'll see a lot more re-geographicing, like geographical new lines that form countries such as perhaps Ukraine and Russia for sure. And perhaps the Middle East for sure. All right. Let's go into the story. Uranus is leaving on April 26th, the sign of Taurus, and he's at 27 degrees. And my time zone is 6:30 p.m. Vancouver, Canada, like 9:30 p.m. in the eastern seaboard of the United States. In England, it's going to be February 4th, and most of Europe, it's February 4th, right? You move forward to Singapore, Asia, whatever, pretty well February 4th. My brain has to do time zones, but that's the gist of it. So what we're going to do now is we're going to do the Taurus people, because you guys are the ones who've had to live with this, really for most people, once in a lifetime transits of Uranus through Taurus, because it takes them 84 years to get back to Taurus. So if you're going to live more than 84 years kind of thing, you're going to experience this more than once, but most people get it once in a lifetime. Not everyone gets to be a long-lived person. So this is important. Let's start with you guys. Taurus, sun, moon, and rising sign. Go back to May through to October of 2018, when Uranus was first ingressing into your sign in the early degrees, and then how he came back to your sign in February 2019, and now is getting ready to leave. You might have felt some relief, of course, last summer, July 7th to November 7th, when he was tiptoeing into your second house of money, earnings, and resources. And we'll get to that in a new video for the Gemini April ingress for your sign. But this is how you probably have been feeling as an ascendant, your characters in the simulation, Taurus ascendant, your body and your health connected to your body, and your ideas and your mental, like your character in the sim has been undergoing radical change. I mean, it can be really funky stuff like getting a mohawk, pink hair, doing crazy stuff like that. I'm not kidding you. It really can be. But it could also be something connected to the idea that maybe you wanted to break free and break through of anything that held you back. Be a rebel, find freedom, fly your freak flag. That's the ascendance ever since May of 2018. But Taurus sun, it impacted your relationship to father figures, erratic ups and downs and dramatic, unexpected changes, but maybe also to your own purpose and career matters, where trying to put your, pin the tail on the donkey around livelihood, purpose, career, work, what you want to do in this life has been radically disrupted or changed since 2018. Nothing was steadfast, nothing was stable about that. And for you moons and Taurus, your mother relationship kind of erratic and all over the map, or a source of freedom and breakthroughs and break frees, or maybe, the way you connected to your mother became highly unusual. You and your mom became best friends after years of being arguing mother daughter or father son mother stuff, right? Or the life of your mother, by the way, was radically exciting and very different since 2018 than before. So I have a Taurus son daughter, so I have been this online presence since 2019. So she's seen her mother move into Uranus rules the digital technologies, the World Wide Web. Now, if you are a Taurus moon, you might have an emotional, radical changes of mood, ups and downs, but you're home, right? And your mother relationship, but you're home, Taurus moons, you're home, you're home, you're home. Did I say to my daughter Taurus moon? She has a Taurus sun. Home life is radically changing. So you may not have been stable, or things in the home have been unstable. Now, I'm just giving you the backdrop because now that's coming to an end. This is a grand finish line, February 4th through until April 26th. You might notice that as he's stationing to go direct, we have some cooperation from the Lord of Taurus, which is Venus in your career house. Probably this reflects a major shift in career direction, reputation, purpose, the way the world sees you, because that's the meaning of the 10th house. This chart could even indicate some Tauruses are going to plan weddings, announce weddings, or get married. This could also lead to major changes in your life regarding home and where you live. Why? Because the sun is up there too and rules your 4th house. Mars says major changes in your relationship status, married, divorced, and widowed, / whatever, proposed to. Like everything's up for grabs for you, a Taurus ascendants, really. Right? Home, relationship, career, massive last minute pivotal change. Be careful that you don't lose your head. Why? Because Algol is like to lose one's head. Now you could be decapitated, but I doubt that's going to happen. That's ridiculous, right? But you could get fired from your job. You could blow up at work. You could get laid off. You could have a radical sudden need to change your home or cut off your partner and quit the relationship, and on we go. So the energy is intense on February the 3rd, 4th. Okay. It's intense. And so be cautious around that time. I'd give it 3 days before February 3rd. So February 1st to February 6th in particular is a very emotionally intense, fly off the handle archetype for you. On the other hand, with Venus still watching over Uranus and domicile Lord herself, she could give you some amazing news, phone calls or text messages, and a new work opportunity that's exciting, exhilarating, and it could increase your financial wellness, and it could make you happier in your work, and a new office, and a raise, a promotion, a new space, a new career direction, a new opportunity professionally and financially can emerge. And it may emerge as soon as this turnaround happens, but it can also be flowing through the story baked in as a career change, home change, relationship change, but particularly the work, home, and money. The work, money, earnings, job. Okay. The Eartha houses are really lit for you because of who's up here as the turnaround happens. Venus is hanging with a crew as she tells Uranus, can we translate this to other parts of the chart? If you don't like your work, and you're not in a job you like, Venus will try to make a change for you with help from Uranus, which means swift, sudden, exciting, exhilarating, break free and break through to the end of April in matters connected to your career and your money and your earnings and your work. Gemini, sun, moon, and rising sign. So, hey, Gemini people, in my view, humble opinion, and all of that, it is likely that with this Uranus turnaround in your 12th house, you'll perceive it as spiritually deep, because Uranus since 2018 in the 12th house has guided you towards spiritual illumination through massive spontaneous awakenings and breakthroughs in ancestral patterns, habits, karmic ties, karmic past life knots, whatever, stuff from the other realms. But Uranus is pineal gland energy, and you might have been able to improve your Akashic records, psychic powers, peering into the void, understanding the nature of reality, time, and space. There's stuff with that for you. for Geminis. You may have been called to an inner quest to break free of the shackles of your egoic identity as well. Uranus here could also have made major changes in how you make money if you use digital income and borderless revenue, or you work for an international company. I have a Gemini friend. He's now director of global sales for a international engineering firm, and he's literally been accelerating his career, Gemini rising, in the 12th house because the international company energy. You could also, as I said, be using this for other reasons than money made from distant places and foreign lands. You could be using this energy for in your solitude, in your alone time, being extraordinarily original and inventive. So anyone who does anything, I work all day in my artist studio or my writer studio alone, you've got this originality and invention and creative energy just soaring through the skies since 2018. And this is hospitals and jails, and people in situations regarding hospitals and jails may have been in and out, up and down, on and off since 2018 in your life. Venus does witness this in a square from your ninth house of God, foreign lands, international, book publishing. It's ideal for any Geminis who might be inclined to want to publish or write a book, because you can see that the writing planet Sun is here. This is writing down here in the publishing house with Mercury, the communicator. But Venus is trying to apply positive pressure. And so what it could look like is by April 27th, like you've got your book proposal done. That would be me. Okay. I have a progressed Gemini sun. So for sun, it's definitely a career thing. So if you're in international career path, publishing, teaching campuses, universities, the career stuff looks like it's taking exciting directions, but you need some solitude. Maybe that would be me going off to Mexico to write the book proposal and later on sample chapters, right? So it really fits for my Gemini sun. Gemini moons, of course, you're always going to be wondering about whether you're going to move or not. So the moon is actually being not Gemini moons, Taurus moons especially, right? You could be moving, like this could move you. But if you're listening for your Gemini moon and it would indicate potentially a relocation, then you're probably thinking about moving to another country or far off place. You wouldn't just move down the street, right? You'd be taking a leap for Gemini moons and moving quite a distance. And Gemini risings, you might consider going back to school, and you might go to a campus or college or for the first time that's quite far off, maybe even another country from your natal country. Law and legal court matters can be indicated by ninth house stories. And Venus is trying to get some traction there, and Uranus is trying to bring some surprises. Backroom deals and negotiations. It would be a scene I would expect in a legal lawsuit court matter that you may have some ability to negotiate, mediate, and fix the problem without having to go into an actual court situation. That's how that can look in surprising ways, actually fast moving in surprising ways. If you are looking for an international spiritual guide, Sun is in its joy. Teacher, mentor, coach, spiritual, wisdom and knowledge, and maybe distant shores. You might find yourself excited and electrified by the opportunity to learn from, study with, be guided or mentored by someone either deeply and profoundly spiritual or in connection with foreign lands and foreign shores. Now I need water. And I don't want to, I'm going to get kombucha. And I know how to stop the recording. It's a big hassle. So hang in there, Cancer. I gotcha. I promise. Am I recording? Yes, I got a kombucha I can use. Hang in there, guys. Be back. Can I tell you a story, Cancer? Because I'm having comfort food. This is my kombucha. I had years ago, I ate a tangerine on 2022 on a video, but I promise I wasn't chomping it because I was coming back from COVID or something, feeling not quite normal. And also, sometimes I would take a sip of water, and I got so many trolls, and now they don't do that anymore. Well, I don't know, like, how dare you sip water or drink kombucha or eat a tangerine in front of us? Okay, moving on. Cranberry, orange, cinnamon, and kombucha. Oh my God. Oh my God, that's amazing. With organic herbs and teas. I'm blown away how good that is. Let's go on. Cancer, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Cancer, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Hey, 2018, Uranus entered your sign. How did that feel to you? Were you like completely rattled? Did it shake your world? Were you like inside out and upside down? Because it would have energetically hit your friendship circles for sure. It could have looked like, the crew that you would count as your own, your friends, your benefactors, your allies, a sibling, one older, and radical change. Now, radical change in the way you relate to that sibling or in the life of that sibling, one older than you. Since 2018, my Cancer rising sister is my employee. So that's an example. But also it can look like disruption and shock and, ragged, jagged changes in how you associate with your groups that you belong to, your clubs, your social affiliations, and your social networking groups. And there's been some radical changes, exciting changes, whatever. I have a Cancer rising girlfriend who moved into the AI world, and her associates were all like C-suite people at Google and stuff. So there's like just this kind of, who are your people? Who do you hang with? And that was in the AI stuff, right? So you've got a lot going on in terms of like original, inventive, or technologically oriented friendship groups and circles that may have occurred for some Cancers. The sky is very literal. Uranus connects to advanced technologies and technology advancements, and AI is one of those. So you got to think of my Cancer rising friend gets back in 2018 and onward, starts to get involved in the AI Google's people crowd as a contributor. With this part of the story, if you are somebody who is making money from your 10th house of career, this is the house of the gains. And this would look like internet work or technology work or cutting edge work. So that is where you made money, or crypto, but then you'd be working in a profession connected to crypto, not just buying and investing. So these are things that happen for you. These are exciting things that were going on. And this is the house of good spirit. But on the other hand, no matter how good the house is, Uranus disrupts, and it could have been the loss of friends with unexpected, shocking, turnings in, like I didn't see that coming. Like that friend would like suddenly cut me out of their life, ghosted me, whatever, or just radical disruptive exits to the way some of your social friendships worked. All of that's completing on the April 28th, 27th, 26. Began in 2018, May. You had a freedom taste last summer, as I said in the intro, where kind of like July 7th and November 7th, this was not here anymore. And you might have felt more free or more easy about all of this stuff. And I kind of wonder as well, because with Venus now watching this from your 8th house of chunky money, and this is a house of windfalls on a wealth star Algol, it is possible with this kind of configuration to come into some money. And with Mars here, because you're winning money or money from a sibling or some exciting ups, like a one older than you sibling or siblings in general, even Venus is telling Uranus what to do from a chunky money house. And it's a windfall house and it's a wealth star. So there may be some unexpected inbound money. You have a stellium, for gosh sakes, in the chunky money house. So there's nothing wrong with that. J.K. Rowling has the same thing in a whole sign chart, which is why we use whole signs. It shows she'll be massively wealthy through ad revenue, royalty income, derivatives, money that doesn't equal dollars for hours in a paycheck. So this kind of stellium with this kind of windfall on a wealth star, yeah, you could come into some money winnings. And that could be this. Yeah, it could be on the stationary turnaround, 3rd and 4th. So yeah, buy a ticket this week, but it may come through other people. Could come through likely a sibling, but one older. And there could be a big ka-ching financially for you. But it runs not just this week ahead. It runs through to April the 26th. And it's baking in unexpected surge of chunky money. And your social groups may involve a lot more occultist, magical, mysterious, paranormal, and paranormal and supernatural type folk. You might have a radical change of social group as you move into like the seance crew or something. Something changes in your social networks that put you into a much more mystical or woo woo type crew in a radical, unexpected, shocking way. For all the occult arts belong to the 8th house. This is spousal shared monies. This is also in-law money, major changes in the money you share with the spouse, major changes in in-laws and in-law monies and resources, and you benefiting from that. Okay. Wait. And Venus can translate the square to a luscious opportunity guarding real estate, land, and property connected to a sibling, any sibling, but particularly one older, and or things to do with banking, loans, and mortgages, and windfalls and money and property. Another story for you guys to consider over the next few months till the end of April. Hey, Leo, sun, moon, and rising sign. First things is that you have Uranus finishing up a stay since 2018 in your 10th house. Radical, unexpected, exciting changes in your career. Nothing stays the same. But on the other hand, break free and break through in your career and reputation, or work in a career and reputation space is connected to things that are digital or technological or internet or World Wide Web. I'm talking words that Uranus connects to. You might have also worked in an industry to do with cutting edge or frontiers of art or beauty or cosmetics or fashion. These are things that you might have gotten involved in since 2018, or even things to do with starlets and movies and divas. But this is coming to a close and you're leaving that behind, and that will be done by the end of April. And as we say that, you might think back to last summer when this energy took a break and you didn't feel any of that energy at all anymore as of July 7th until November 7th. And that kind of gave you a break. And maybe you felt something different. With Venus witnessing this from the 7th house of marriage and long-term committed relationship, there may be some radical, shocking, and disruptive elements happening in your significant relationship, partnership energies. And it can include business partners, but there's definitely something coming through the sky after this station on February 3rd, 4th, and maybe even closer to February 7th and 8th. But you're going to feel like, what the hell was that? Now, because your partner and significant other are here and Mercury's here, it could be something communicated to you by a significant other in long-term love that surprises you or shocks you. I want a divorce. That could look like that. But on the other hand, it could be things going on in the life of your partner, nothing to do with you. From their perspective, there are erratic, sudden changes in home or career matters. Their home, their career, both of those are activated for them in this way. So from a derived house perspective, it's like your partner, your significant other might be having some major shock and awe disclosures, information, or changes regarding their own relationship to the shared home or the domicile or their career direction as well. They could get fired. They might want to move out of the home. There's stuff going on here for you, Leo. So there's definitely a sort of intensity regarding you and another person. And if you're anybody who has like a public, fans, audience, marketplace, the 7th house can be the public space for that. And you have a stellium there, which is exciting, right? You can be getting a lot of traction with the public, for example. Now, on the other hand, it's also the house of open enemies. So you can also ask yourself, what the hell is this? Am I going to get some kind of shock, especially with Mars Pluto, to my career and reputation from an open enemy? It could happen. Now, reminding you that Donald Trump is a Leo. I know you hate when I say that, but what can I do? Leo rising. He's a Leo rising. And as I'm doing this recording, the new Epstein drop just happened and there's shock and awe reverberating all over the internet. So it's already happened and I'm recording on February 3rd. I'm recording on January, but Uranus is already stationary on Donald Trump's midheaven, right? His midheaven is right up here at 26. So you can see that there's a lot of intensity in your life. Obviously, you're not doing a TRUMP, but you might find that you're under a lot of publicity here. That's publicity for your career, right? And some of it may not be positive and you might be rattled a bit, okay? Your reputation might be having a shakeup. This will end, and by the end of April, you're done with that story and you're moving on to excitement, as you might even be coming into windfall territory in the 7 years that follows this, but we'll talk about that in April. Virgo, sun, moon, and rising sign. First things first, I kind of feel like with this kind of sky, you are literally going to feel that your quest for meaning and purpose is closing out on a grand finish line that began in 2018. A lot of Virgos were trying to figure it out, like, what's my meaning and purpose in life up here? A lot of you might have gone through educational and university disruptions. If you were in school, like my Virgo rising daughter, lots of changes of schools, lots of disruptions, lots of changes of majors, right? In university. Some of you might have had an excitement for freedom and exhilaration and change by traveling internationally for quite a bit of that since 2018, wanting to go off on pilgrimages or ventures or international places and experiment. And even for some of you with this kind of intensity, move to another country. Now, I've got 3 Virgos in mind already who've done a lot of traveling, and one of them has changed their country of origin during this time. So there's a lot of this experimental freedom that happened for you in the idea of foreign travel since 2018. For those of you who could travel, not everyone did. Maybe major changes that were disruptive in legal and court matters. And maybe some challenges with visas and passports. And maybe if you're in the book publishing industry in any way, then there's been some major excitement, breakthroughs, and break frees in that part of your world. And a lot of Virgos do like to write. And when we move out of that, and we think about, okay, that's ending. You did get a little freedom last year. You got to take a break, July 7th and November 7th from that pattern up there. But now it's back again on the grand finish line, stationary on February 3rd, 4th, and through to the 3rd week of April, you're going to finish the last part of this story. Venus is in witnessing mode, the Lord of the story, from your house of work. So there's very likelihood a major change of career, and the career wants to move towards freedom and rebellion and, originality. It's going to be when Uranus enters into your Gemini sky for 7 years, you're going to have a lot of different kinds of careers probably, but also a lot of excitement. But something on this cusp is about meaning, purpose, work, and career, job. With news and information, unexpected phone calls and text messages this week ahead and into next week, there could be a pivot point in the next couple of weeks, first couple of weeks of February, around information offering you a new job, being headhunted, or something to do with human resources and job work, excitement, taking interviews, getting the interview. Venus is the Lord of your second house. So whatever she's doing with Uranus and all the shifting of what's my purpose, what am I supposed to be doing here, it can bring you more financial gain in the long run. And there is a wealth star here where Uranus is sitting, but sometimes it just brings disruption. And I have to say, if you had a trip planned and he's turning around on February 3rd and 4th, and anything to do with the trip had to do with professional endeavors or work, there may be some kind of massive, unexpected disruption of best laid plans, and God is laughing. I gotta call it like I see it, right? Venus is the exaltation lord of your marriage house. And that may not even be all your story. It could be something to do with the work connected to a partner, like a love partner or a long-term love partner, and unexpected, shocking, surprising, maybe exciting developments in their workspace and involving international lands and international companies, and maybe a need to travel or move because of that. Or breakthroughs for them in their work and career connected to the word international. And it could be very much connected to your partner, not even all your story. If you want to get a pet off of this, you're definitely getting an animal from another country. So you could have an unexpected opportunity to get an animal from some far off land, some distant foreign place. That could happen under the sky as well. A rescue chihuahua. I always laugh about those. Libra, sun, moon, and rising sign. Yeah, well, let's talk. Venus is the Lord of your sign. She's watching Uranus in her kingdom. Those combinations are important for you. And the turnaround and the station direct is here in your house of chunky money. What kind of chunky money? Well, is it an investment that pays off? Is it a tax rebate, an insurance payout? Is it something to do with money from the bank, loans and mortgages? Is it money connected to spousal, like in-laws or spousal monies and shared resources? So what we have here is electricity and excitement and shock and surprise and intensity. There is a wealth star here, and this is a money house. The 8th house is a money house. So what I think that could look like, there's so many things it could be. It can be money coming from your significant other and their life, like their family of origin, let's call it. Okay. So there may be money coming through the in-laws that surprises you. But with Venus's guidance from the 5th house of good fortune, where we can speculate, gamble, and win money, you might win money. It's a long shot. Certainly buy a ticket near the 3rd and 4th when the stationary turnaround happens, but this could look like an unexpected win financially in some way. Now, it could be a metaphorical win. It could be a real win. It could be a windfall thanks to the sun ruling your 11th, but there could be some unexpected, surprising turnarounds in a positive way financially, and it may connect to money. It also can be connected to renters, rental properties, renters, tenants, landlord agreements, and a turnaround that's quite fortunate for you as well. Now, I like this idea that Venus is in her joy in the 5th house. She's in her house of joy. That's her most powerful house to be in. So she's dominating in a joy house. She's connected to a power pack stellium not seen like this since 1994. And she's giving Uranus on a well star some instructions. But if you can get pregnant, because you are a man or woman, in a sexual relationship with one of you having eggs to bear, egg bearers. What did we do with the woke culture? We got into some weird land of egg bearer. Like, you mean a female, a woman, an egg bearer? Yeah. But you and your egg bearer and your husband or man or whatever you guys are, same-sex couple, the egg bearers can have babies too, but so can the men who inseminate the egg bearers. Let me go on and put myself into a hole where you all unsubscribe because you think I'm not woke enough. But I'm just telling you, this is a fertility signature. So it means unexpected pregnancy, shocking pregnancy, swift pregnancy. Okay. So there you go. It could also be that one of your children is having a pregnancy because you're an adult, woman, man, and your kids are of childbearing age. And if there is an unexpected pregnancy, and it could be that, then it could feel, well, first of all, it should be celebrated as joyous, but Mars, Pluto say you guys would debate not keeping the pregnancy. All right. But I want to give you a tip. Uranus means that somebody who's died in your family of origin, dad, granddad, grandma, whatever, trying to come back in. All right. Even birth control fails. So you can't always, it's not 100%. So this could be that for some of you. And would it happen right away? Well, I mean, the discovery could happen anywhere, from February 3rd, 4th to April the 27th. It doesn't have to be in this week or two ahead, but just to be aware of that. It's baking in that energy for you. And Venus is your ruler. So if you are now to be a grandparent or a parent, it might be meant to be, but I can see decisions being made here about whether to terminate that kind of condition or whatever, or keep. I hope you guys make the right choice for you, Okay. And by the way, when Jupiter moves into the 11th house at the end of June and will be there for a year, that's also a fertility signature. And also can bring more children into the world. So Scorpio, sun, moon, and rising sign. You kind of want to talk about the idea that since 2018, Uranus has been moving through your marriage house or significant long-term love, sometimes business partners. And maybe there's been a lot of erratic, unexpected ups and downs with whomever you've been with since then. If anybody could have disrupted a relationship, caused a divorce. It could have meant time out, marriage sabbaticals, major swings of unexpected natures with the one you're with. The one you're with having shocking things happen in their life. Okay. That started in 2018, May. You had a break from that last summer, which would have been July 7th and November 7th. And now it's back again. As Uranus is finishing his grand finale and going direct through to the 3rd week of April 26th, this is the last time in a lifetime that you have this energy in your 7th house. And there is the potential here that something is trying to happen regarding where you live, because Venus is in the house of home, who rules this energy. She's like an unexpected, shocking, surprising change of home, unexpected, erratic developments regarding your long-term relationship and where you live. Single Scorpios can meet somebody close to home. You could have your socks knocked off in love and romance because you're taking out the garbage, or you're parking your car, or you're going, a few blocks down to give the neighbor some sugar. We mean really close to home. Or someone in your homeland, because sometimes the 4th house where Venus sits is homeland, right? And she's the exaltation lord of, so maybe you've been abroad and now you've gone back home to your homeland, hometown, homeland, or close to home. New love, shock, awe, excitement, exhilaration could happen for you if you're single. So look for that between now and April the 27th. Because with Mars down there and Pluto, some of you may even be looking at the idea you want to move your home, but in unexpected, shocking, and surprising ways connected to rentals, rental properties, or relationship opportunities that come at you out of the blue. And yeah, it's a thing. It's a thing. Your significant long-term love partner is the person who has Uranus in their space relative to your chart. And so there are unexpected developments connected to a long-term partnership, partner, love, and romance, but living together, partners especially. And there's some developments that are surprising or unexpected in the life of your significant other. And a lot of it looks like home, property, land, and real estate as a technical thing, like, do we want to change our home? Do we want to move? But your partner's going to kind of maybe propose something dramatic or exciting or exhilarating regarding where you live and the relationship itself. Some of you could be busy painting and decorating your home, staging it for sale. And if you want to do that, then after the last week of April, you might have an exciting, swift-moving property purchase or sale opportunity coming into the month of May and June. All right, moving into the next story. Sagittarius, sun, moon, and rising sign. You have the energy starting in 2018. So going back in time is useful. What was happening in 2018, May through to October, that was your first testing 1-2-1-2 of what happens when the erratic energy of unpredictable Uranus enters into Taurus in your work house. You might have noticed back then there were some dramatic, exciting, exhilarating, or sudden changes in your livelihood, your work, your employment, employee structures, all of that. And you might have noticed back then, because it does bleed through to the pandemic in 2020, right? That a lot of people didn't work, or they changed their jobs, they got laid off, or they worked from home. So that makes a lot of sense, I think. But it's not more than a workhouse where this change has been activated. It's also a house that connects you to your health. And there may be some erratic situations with your nervous system. Uranus can move the electrical currents of the body and the brain. So brain and nervous system challenges, perhaps, not necessarily. Or even some erratic developments that were quite shocking and unexpected or surprising or exciting regarding pets since 2018. And if you have debts, I owe money to the bank, or any kind of indebtedness, and paying those debts, maybe shocking, surprising downdrafts and updrafts regarding money owed, banks, loans, mortgages, whatever. And, erratic energy. You're under a benefic energy with Jupiter in the house of those banking things right now. So it's not too worried about it, but I'm talking about looking back. Now we're going to go forward. We're going to go forward this week on the 3rd, 4th of February. And then Uranus is going to trail the last in a lifetime journey by the end of April through your 6th house. Partly thinking for you because of Venus's placement in the 3rd house, or maybe unexpected opportunities to redistribute your location, to move to a new home in a new neighborhood. This might indicate a rental opportunity more than anything else. And you also might have some unexpected, surprising opportunities for travel connected to colleagues, coworkers, employees, and work in the short term, like around the February 4th, add a couple of weeks. Venus in the 3rd house is exciting, but it may involve a sibling. It may not be your story. Unexpected developments regarding siblings and debts. Now, what I mean is you owe the sibling, they owe you. There's money owed, there's debt owed, and there's a shocking surprise. So you might get your money back. Yeah, you might get paid back under the sky. I mean, it looks like that's a possibility. This does feature siblings as a general principle, okay, but it highlights sibling one older. So sibling one older, debt repayment, sudden shocking financial gain or experience through debts and siblings, but one older is the highlighted sibling here. There's your chunky money that Jupiter wants to give you in the 8th house. If you're in the social media sphere for a livelihood, publishing on websites, marketing, selling, doing any kind of that social media storylines, I think you're going, in the 3rd house is social media, not the 11th, guys. Networking and influence is the 11th house. But media, like newspapers and magazines, is the 3rd house. And now we have social media. It's the 3rd house. The platforms belong to the 3rd house. Being famous and socially micro celebrity is 11th. So it looks to me like your social media landscape is quite busy right now if you have one, and or you're very active socializing in the neighborhood or busy traveling shorter distances. And as this Uranus square is happening to Venus and we kick off this turnaround energy, You definitely could be moving your neighborhood, but you may have some really exciting, unexpected developments regarding love and romance. And if you're single, hanging out in the local community, going here and there, taking, the store, the bank, don't stay home alone. Inhabit your neighborhood or take short distance travel. For single Sages might be coming into an unexpected karmic love relationship that can happen in the next while through to the end of April. It could even include a foreigner for you guys. Capricorn, sun, moon, and rising sign. Well, you are going through a period of time where you're experiencing the transit of last in a lifetime Uranus through your romance, sex, and love house. Now, a lot of Capricorns, especially rising, might go back and say to themselves, ever since 2018 May, full time since February of 19, I've had some real outside the box love stories, right? Some kinds of relationships beginning in May of 18 that really weren't your type of person, weren't your type of love, that maybe there was this erratic qualities that were staccato and unexpected ways that they ended or began, but also just like, I've noticed a lot of clients with this, like Uranus in the fifth house got them into polyamory or kink or crazy wild types of sexual energy they hadn't experienced before, that kind of thing. Tantra. Yeah, that stuff. Polyamory, threesomes, experimenting with, same-sex love stories, even if you didn't, perceive that was possible for you. Now, because you guys are not that, right? You guys are like traditional. And then for the most part, Taurus is also like traditional energy and breaking the mold. Now that's something, but what else? This is your children and they've had some ups and downs and maybe unexpected developments, including pregnancies. And this is your artistic, creative, and entrepreneurial stuff. That's been all over the map. For entrepreneurs and creative artistic types, you're original, inventive, outside the box, and you might have had some something go viral even though not too bad with that. Uranus is leaving and he's going to move, as I said, end of April 26 to your sixth house. And then we'll be doing a video on that. This week, as the turnaround is happening into next week, we have Venus in a square to Uranus from your second house of money. So you may have some shocking, surprising, unexpected money stories picking up speed. Mercury and Venus say conversations and communications around money and children, conversations and surprises around children and fertility, conversations with a romantic love partner that are shocking, surprising, and erratic. You might also be thinking about an unexpected lucky break financially. It can be a windfall. You could win some money off of this and possess a lot more money in a sudden a very wealth yoga way. So for you, some of these signs have this. It's not a bad time to cautiously play a lottery ticket. Uranus is in a good fortune money house for winning money through speculation and gambling on a well star Algol. If a relationship romantically would end under this, which it could, and it will be a positive reason for it to end because Venus is, making decisions that benefit you always, but there might be a bit of a surprise element to how it comes to a close, like you didn't expect or see it that way, or didn't expect it to happen that way. You need to change your diet maybe because Venus is in the house of what you eat. And you want more joy, fun, play, and vitality in life, fifth house, creativity, and you're realizing what you're eating and ingesting isn't helping at all. And you might cut, end, and sever certain food styles for sure in order to promote better health as you see Uranus here, and Venus connecting. Look for that to be a theme throughout the end of the month. Venus might want to beautify your face and Uranus has some unexpected shocks, but it's kind of funny because facial rejuvenation and surgeries and stuff, that's all here, right? Mars and Venus. But what's the unexpected part? What's the surprise? I don't know. I'd be a little cautious with a square from Uranus to Mars to doing anything to your face surgically, especially. I don't trust that sky for that, not with a square. I would advise against it through to when Mars leaves Aquarius sometime in early March. Sometime in March. I can't remember the date. All right. All said and done, this could be like your experience of sudden surges of creativity, romantic love that's unusual, unexpected being blindsided by a new love story, having stuff going on sexually that's erratic. But this is also money. And so you could win money and have a windfall off this axis. So buy a ticket, know your limit, play within it, but get a bingo ticket or something. Go to the bingo hall, buy a lottery ticket this week ahead when the stationary direct energy is there, but through to April 27th. All right. Now I'm an Aquarius like you. So sun, moon, and rising. Aquarius is I'm rising. We have a not seen since 1994 stellium in our sign, right? Look at that. The assembly of planets. Most of them are invisible. They're all invisible. So we can't see them in the sky. So it's not a parade of planets. It's an assembly and it's invisible. We have a lot going on inside of us, especially Aquarius rising. The world can't see the transformation. We've kept it hidden under our vest. You know what I mean? Close to the vest or whatever that expression is. And so all of us Aquarius rising in particular, sun is about your career, moon is about your home and emotion. But rising Aquarians, we have a huge amount of inside of us transformation going on right now. Huge decisions are being made quietly without saying it. Huge inner reflections and ideas and a new self is being born for a lot of us. And it's literally like the cocoon chrysalis state. We're not ready to flap our new wings in the world. So no one really knows how much transformation is happening for Aquarians through the month of from January 23rd to about the third week of February. We're really rocking change within. And as that's happening, we can see that Venus is in our sign. It's a good time for a haircut, getting mine in a few days. But Venus here is giving us a sense of beauty and wellness, right? And vitality and health and purpose and meaning and a bunch of other good stuff. But as she does all of that, she's also going to square Uranus turning around in your fourth house. I kind of talked about me in the beginning, but since 2018, when Uranus in May of that year entered into my fourth house, I moved. My landlord sold the house in 2018. I moved to Montreal. I moved back to Canada. My girlfriend's place that I rented, she needed it back without any warning. I had to move again. Then I found another place. I moved again to my new place. And so this disruption around land, property, home, and real estate and where one lives has been for Aquarius rising, is pretty evident for most of us, not everyone, but most of us since 2018. And then also your sun, Aquarius sun, is the disruptions to matters of purpose and career, and Aquarius moon to also maybe nest home and emotional angularity, emotional shakeups. And especially for the moons, you might have been dealing with changes in the home, with whom you live, people in your home, radical shifts regarding your family of origin, your mother, your parents, and your relationship to your own childhood and the challenges of your childhood, and maybe some electric currents of breakthrough, spontaneous understanding, dramatic enlightenment about growing up in your life. You can get enlightenment from the fourth house when you're not changing homes. The fourth house is your moksha, liberation from the identity of your culture, tribe, and family of origin, differentiating from them, individuating, and separating. And it's also witness consciousness, right? So with Uranus in your fourth house, a lot of you, if you're looking for enlightenment, we're able to move away from being your thoughts and being the witnesser of your thoughts instead, the one who witnesses the thoughts, including the thought of me. So the enlightenment story has been there for you. Now, Algol is a powerful star. It can bring wealth or it can bring a radical kind of decapitation energy. It's in the house of your property, land, and home. People live here, but it's mostly mom and dad, sometimes family of origin members that you grew up with, but mostly it could be the mother as well. And so there's some changes that are happening unexpectedly in this last salvo from, the stationary turnaround February 4th through to the 26th of April. You had a break from this energy last summer, right? July 7th to November 7th, the staccato energy in the fourth house had lightened up. By the way, I noticed that like in 2018, I started my YouTube channel. I was talking about ascension waves and stuff and the Mandela effect. And funny enough, that's when my YouTube channel took off then. And it was hardly anything. I had 200 new subscribers. I was like, whoa, but I wasn't promoting myself. And I didn't know how to hook the algorithm yet. And so how cool is that, right? I can go back and go, oh yeah, that was the big uptick in my first time at my little YouTube channel took off. It wasn't even astrology, right? But why did I say that? Because Uranus rules internet, digital world wide web, that kind of stuff. That would be me working from home on the internet. There are some examples. What's going to happen here is likely this. Venus can actually wake up certain energies in your chart. One of them would be foreign lands, distant shores, higher education, colleges and campuses, publishing and book publishing, surprises, shocks, and change, right? Want to finalize that story. They could bring some wealth in connection to the themes I just mentioned. Single, well, you're looking attractive. The world thinks you look okay right now with Venus in your sign. And I feel like that could be a unexpected, shocking, surprising, close to home love story. If you're going to meet somebody close to home. With Uranus here, it's likely close to home, but they could be a foreigner. She rules the house of foreigners. But it would be like, I met this guy from Poland, but he's like, just moved into my neighborhood. Or I was taking a walk in just down the street from where I live, and I bumped into this person, and I had a sudden, shocking, surprising vibe that maybe they're my person. So there can be a romantic thing because of the sun. The sun is saying, well, Mercury says I can bring you romance. Sun says I can bring you commitment. Venus says love. So this kind of pile up looks like maybe by April 27th, even some of you may meet a new relationship partner close to home, close to home, close to homeland. But because Venus rules your ninth house, we can invite in somebody connected to foreign shores and foreign lands, for example. There is a wealth star that is sitting here called Algol, and there's very much intensity here on that fourth house. It is not necessarily probable that you could come into an inheritance or family money of some sort, but the money that belongs to the family belongs to the fourth house, mom, dad, the upline, and a wealth star and a shock and a surprise is possible. Not probable, just possible. Especially given Mercury rules inheritances, and he's right beside Venus. So if you're liable to have an inheritance or money from a spouse in any way, a spouse like being a widow or widower, or money from bequeathments or marriage separation agreements, some kind of chunk of unexpected wealth can be emerging by the end of April for you, Aquarius, sun, moon, and rising. Pisces, sun, moon, and rising sign. You're not last this time, by the way. It's Aries. Thank God I remembered. Started with Taurus. It's going to look like you're having go back to 2018 May, Uranus entered into your third house, full-time occupation February of 2019, been there ever since. And this is not just about you, because what exists in your third house are your neighbors, cousins, extended family, maybe nieces and nephews, siblings in general, sibling one younger in particular. And there's been a lot of erratic energy regarding that, ups and downs, yo-yos, unexpected developments, either in your relationship to those people, neighbors and siblings, neighborhood, or maybe local environment, or in the life of your sibling. Now, that would be acutely the sibling one younger, but if you don't have one younger, then just siblings in general, having a lot of Uranian unexpected ups and downs in their own life. Now, one thing about the story is that Venus rules the Uranus story that, oh, by the way, an unexpected shifts of like dramatic ups and downs regarding writing projects, traveling, social media, that kind of stuff. A lot of, ups and downs and ins and outs and ons and off. And if you're writing, because this is a writing house, maybe outside the box since 2018, original, inventive, cutting edge writing projects were engaging you. That's a possibility. If you went in the social media world and worked there, you might have been really doing okay, but you would have had some real big ups and downs. Now, because Venus is in your 12th house of distant shores and foreign lands, and she rules this turnaround point, and she's witnessing it, and she's telling Uranus to behave, and there's a wealth star there as well as a decapitation star. Let's break it down. Well, first of all, you don't want to see anybody decapitated, but a neighbor or sibling, not literally decapitated, but losing their head, losing their shit or something like that, for sure. Why not? But the 12th house is hospital, so you don't want to see a sibling, especially one younger, having anything going on regarding the word hospitals. I get that, but you can't guarantee that's not true, I have to say. So I can see anything from a sibling in general to a sibling one younger, those kinds of stories could show up in this kind of sky. You could also see unexpected breakthroughs and break frees in digital income and borderless revenue, especially if you make money online. And you could actually benefit financially from a sibling too older than you financially if you're making money in the digital realm, in the PayPal, Stripe accounts and all of that. And you can have a nice little surge of wealth coming off at the sky, but it can last until the end of April. So it's a good time for you to attempt to create wealth online and to benefit from the international PayPal, Stripe type stuff. Would be a good idea. A stellium like this in your 12th house can invite enlightenment, and the stellium has been here for goodness gracious ever since really third week of January when Mars entered here, and it can open up some spiritual breakthroughs. This is a house of hospitals ruled by the sun in the house of sickness. And Uranus is unexpected, shocking surprises. And so in some way, you might have some unexpected, shocking surprises regarding matters connected to your own health, maybe from diagnostics or hospital visits or lab tests or some shit like that. I don't want to scare you at all. I don't mean that way. It could be positive surprises, right? Like, thank God it's not a big deal because Venus is a benefic. Mercury is the news. And one thing I like about the sky for sure is if you want to go off to an ashram, a spiritual retreat center, I see activation of long distance and short distance travel here between now and the end of April, allowing for the opportunities for you to get out on the road, take a trip, maybe travel alone, travel with siblings, maybe just travel, get away, journey, take an adventure. Exciting, erratic, breakthrough, break free energy going on here. Okay. I do see it that way. And maybe some challenges in the health of a mother. Okay. And that's coming through this week into next week, but also could roll out through till April the 27th. Oh, Aries. Sun, moon, and rising. You're last this time. Ha 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 ha. Of all of my videos, Aries watch the least. My monthly drops that I give you your month ahead for each sign. Literally the least one. Least one. Like, you guys watch the least of those videos. You're not the boss of me. You can't tell me what to do. I don't know what it is, but Aries, and not just my channel, all channels, we all talk about it as astrologers that Aries are the least likely to watch the content we produce. Aries, sun, moon, and rising sign. Money. Why? Because wealth star, Algol, money. Now, don't count on it. This is also a decapitation star. So be careful with your money, but it's a money story. It's a wealth star. It's stationary. How has your money been? Aries, sun, moon, and rising. Aries through your career, moon through your home and nest, or how you feel about money, being erratic. And also Aries ascendant, anything to do with money for sure, but also anything to do with how you eat, your dietary style, and your face. Okay, erratic shifts and ups and downs. I've been here with Uranus ever since 2018, the month of May. You got a break last summer, July through to November. And now this is the grand finish line. I should call this video grand finish line. And it's going to be happening that this grand finish line takes you through to April 26th. And it begins on a wealth star stationary turnaround, unexpected surges of money or wealth, unexpected or exciting developments regarding your financial situation in money that your earned income, okay, earned money. And it's been given attention by Venus, who rules it in the 11th house of career gains. And because it's coming from great gains in the career, also windfalls and pennies from heaven, and with the sun ruling the house of good fortune, I'll give you some options. You could have an unexpected financial windfall that brings you some chunky money. You could have unexpected opportunity to possess a new home. You might have an unexpected surprising surge in revenue and money and earnings, paycheck and promotions, raises, who knows, from your career space into the earnings from the career. This is chock-a-block full of energy. If you are somebody who uses your voice is going to have break-free or breakthrough potentials to earn more money in your career by how you speak or what you say. If you're somebody who wants to do a dietary habit, style, and change, you may join a group that belongs to, we're going to do it together. Like, watch me go. I'm joining Sober Sisters or something. But there could be a change of dietary habit and style. It's exciting, exhilarating, and dramatic. And you start to hang with people who are on the same page, right? I belong to the Vegan Club of Vancouver or something like that. I kind of want to say that you have siblings, and this is one older. So a sibling, one older, can bring you surprises, breakthroughs, money, windfalls for sure. Venus is a ruler of your marriage house. It's possible for some Aries, there can be some exciting financial developments connected to your marriage partner or partnership. And your marriage partner might have some financial breakthroughs and career breakthroughs as well. Are you single as an Aries? Well, look no further than hanging with the social crew and making money. The likelihood of meeting somebody new under this thing would be in the pursuit of making money and gaining money in your career, rather than, say, a dinner party at somebody's house. So singletons can have surprising, shocking new love coming through the archetype of the way you're operating professionally and bringing into your life a new marriage partner, or not marriage partner, but long-term life partner. And romantic partner, thanks to the sun. And if you are somebody who is thinking of like, I want to revise my 5-year plan, my 10-year plan, you want to sit down and really think about your next long range goal. Venus, fairy godmother, Mercury ideas, square Uranus, you're going to think outside the box. Like, you want to make money in completely radical and exciting new ways. Nothing the same old, same old. You want to shift career in a sort of breakthrough mode. So I would say I have an Aquarius sun, which is my career. Yeah, I'm pretty well stopping readings. I've been doing them for 8 years. I've seen thousands of clients. I still give some to my Patreon community and former clients, but I recognize that I can't possibly write the 2 books I need to write and see clients and do Substack and do YouTube and do Patreon. Something's got to give. And that's the place where I expend a lot of my energy as an autistic person. It takes a lot out of me to see clients, and I'm fully present for them, and it may not be serving my bigger agenda. So that could be an example of breaking free of a money situation and earnings coming through my sky. I'm giving you an example. Now, last thing about this sky is fertility. Depends on your age, but this can bring romantic love and fertility and getting pregnant and unexpectedly. Yes, it can. So be cautious if you're somebody who's sexually active and having a baby isn't your first priority, because between now and April 27th, pregnancy features strongly as a potential in this sky. And last, unexpected shocking developments with a friend. Somebody in your social friendship circles and groups may also be giving you unexpected developments, and also allies, benefactors, and people want to support you. And it may not be negative. It may be unexpected financial opportunity coming through a social network, or financial opportunity or expansion coming through a friendship or someone in your social friendship circles. Alrighty. Thanks for listening, you guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I often do an outro. I think this video has to go out on Tuesday or Wednesday, because otherwise it's going to stale date itself. The sky's very busy. I'll have a Thursday drop for sure, probably on Saturn in Aries. But one thing I would like to mention for you guys is the idea I would do an outro. And don't forget to check out these roses forever. They smell amazing. Oh my God. All right. An outro. Topics of mystical, magical, and super woo. I don't know. This is not really an outro. This is just amazing, though. This is a dictionary, and I use it as an oracle tool. A lot of you know that. And I've been doing that for years, but I just got back into it lately. I taught a class on 5 psychic tips, and it was a big hit. And you open it up with a question. Now, I have noticed that this is getting uncanny for me. Like, I don't know how I'm just hitting the mark, right? Like, seriously. Like, I get the direct answers I need in the moment without even thinking. It's just like that's not possible to be that precise, but it is. I did it with my girlfriend last night at her house. We both did it, and we were like blown away by it. So I would encourage you to just get an English dictionary or a pocket dictionary. This is the Canadian Standard English. So if I was to ask a question like, will Trump need to step down from office before the end of this year for some reason, right? Scandals, health, who knows what. And I'm not anti-Trump, I'm not pro-Trump. I was kind of more liking Trump a lot before he became beholden to the lords of the Z lords who run the Congress and the Senate and all that, who run the government, and it seems to be disempowered by probably blackmail. So I got the word drugstore. Now, what does that mean? Well, it's drugs, druggery, drug. It's all about drugs, drugstore, drugging, drugged, and drug. Will he need to leave office? I got the word drug. Does he need drugs because he's going into the hospital? Does it mean that he's already drugged and that's what's going on with him? I'm not too sure. Like, it's a kind of question that you could keep asking. Now I got requiem. Okay. So you can see my finger landed right here. Can you see that? You saw me randomly open it, I hope. These are not flagged pages. Oh, fire rake. You're just going to have to take my word for it. My hand's on requiem. My finger was right on the word requiem. See, I'm not getting it to focus. There, requiem. Trust me, it's requiem. Yeah. Now, requiem is a funeral for a famous person. I said for health reasons or for scandal, will they need to step down? But you can say the requiem, like, the like burying the career and having a end of a thing, end of a career. Now, I got running and runner. Well, somebody has to run from office, run for office. I'm running from the office. Yes, well, but that would just be JD Vance going right back up. Well, JD Vance was his running mate. Yeah, it's his running mate. That's what I'm picking up on. So yeah, he will leave and the running mate will take over before we get to the end of this calendar year. There's an eclipse in Leo, seismic. There's a big shift here. I got season seismic. I don't know which it is. Seize the day, carpe diem. Yes. And there's an eclipse in Leo that's very intense. And it's impacting Trump as well in the summer. And that eclipse, even though it happens on August the 12th, it rolls back and includes the energy of the South Node. It rolls back to now because eclipses roll back in time 6 months before and after. So it's an intense period of time. I don't think he'll be in office by the end of this year. I've always said originally a year and a half, 2 years ago, I said, as soon as JD Vance was his running mate, I said JD Vance will be prince in waiting and he will be in power before the 4-year term is up. Someone said that Erica Kirk was going to be his vice president. I'm saying, you've got to be kidding me. At this point, and no one likes her, so I can't imagine that's going to work out. If you like her because you have lost some mammalian instinct for someone who's being authentic and telling the truth, everyone agrees differently. I go on tour and laugh and smile and giggle. No, there's something wrong here. Something significantly is not right. All right. Now you can unsubscribe because you love her and you think she's authentic. Okay. But 80% of people, if you look at comments when they're trying to promote her, like on Instagram, there's a channel like giving you glow ups for Erica Kirk, and you look at the comments, 80% of people are trolling because they're like, and then there's a few people going, may God protect you and you're amazing and we love you. And you're like, and then people are trolling because I don't know if you don't know the Erica Kirk story, but it's all over. There's memes, there's comedic skits about it. No widow is ever grieved that way, although we all grieve differently, right? It's completely weird. It's like as if she's either alive or she was his handler and she didn't even like him and she had to marry him. Something's deeply freaking off there. All right. Thanks for listening. Don't forget to like and subscribe. My outro was an instruction to use the dictionary tool in your life. Grab a dictionary, go get a pocket dictionary. You can put it in your purse. You can take it with you. Sudden decisions need to be made. Should I record a second video today? Because I really don't want to, but I think I need to. And I have to go off and I have to travel. And, I have to pre-produce content. I got the word rapport. I'm on rapport. Maybe I have a nice rapport with you guys today. I'm in a good mood and I had a good sleep. So I'll continue to film one more video today, Saturday, January 31st. Like, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you don't miss a thing. Get my All Signs bundle. Join my members community here. I do live streams and I give you content that's out nowhere else. I'll see you on the next one. Bye, guys. Lunatic astrology.